Call to order the Executive Committee meeting Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. Can we start with a roll call?
Mr. Hess? Present. Ms. Polk? Ms. Weber?
Present.
Ms. Parker? Mr. Fairfield?
Present.
Mr. Seroy? Mr. Carrico?
Present.
Mr. Featherling?
Present.
Mr. Miller?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Present.
Mr. Hunter?
Present.
Ms. Foster?
Present.
Mr. Wheeler?
Present.
Mr. Alexander Hildebrand?
Present.
We have a quorum.
It doesn't appear today that there's any public comment. Is there any public comment? Okay, moving on to the approval of the minutes for the February 28th Executive Committee meeting. Can I get a motion in a second? Eckhoff and Featherling. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Moving on, legislative. There's nothing under legislative today, so we're going to go with the IT department. Kevin Duval. Do you have anything today, Kevin? No, you're good.
Sorry about that. I was asked a question. I didn't hear you at the time. Just an update. Everything's going fine. I did want to give you room to understand what's going on with the Tyler software with the court system. It's progressing pretty well. They're beginning the actual training this week. The training is actually for this week. The key people in each department, I think maybe we've discussed this. Each department has a couple key people. They're trainer, but they're almost management level. Some of them are management level, and they're going to have meetings this week. They'll find out. Tyler will tell them how they plan on proceeding over the next 18 months, give them ideas, also give them time to have their own input, because they'll have to be training of set time aside for classes. And as you would guess, you can't take your whole department out. You need to operate and allow the public to go. So that's a two-sided. Tyler seems to be really good about getting input from the local place about how you want to proceed. Now, they've done this before, so they'll give you a suggestion, but they've not really been do this, do that, to say, here's how we recommend to do this. What's your input? And that's been going pretty well. As you know, Jason's been assigned to be the project manager representing you as the board to make sure your investments being used how you intended. That's going well. He's actually the, let's say, liaison between the vendor and the various departments. So while they'll have direct contact with the vendor, they need to have both sides needs to have that one person that says, all right, I need this person. Who would you think that would be, instead of making 50 phone calls to find out who it is? That's what Jason's primary job will be, is to put people that need to be in contact with each other. Now, he also will be involved, and he is involved in setting up the servers, making sure the software, that's our main concern, is to make sure the software is installed how it's intended to be installed and to operating how it's supposed to be installed. So if somebody has a question, we make sure it's not that the software is having a problem. As far as workflow, that's still the department's. If you have questions about that, you need to still address those specifically to whatever department you may have. As you could guess, he couldn't have expertise in the various departments. He's there to help support the technology part of that. Also, you see Jason before the meetings, after meetings. If you have any question, he'd be glad to answer any of your questions. Most of your questions, I would think, would probably be more or better presented at the actual Criminal Justice Committee, because it's all the court's office. But since IT speaks right now, I'm giving you an idea of what's going on, and Jason works for me, so I'd be glad to help you anytime he needs some help. Or this is his first large project that he's been specifically a project, so if he has any questions, he comes to me, and he's really not had any problems going forward. So basically, if you have any questions on that, that's how that's been proceeding. One thing, I don't want to go too in depth about it, and maintenance department. The committee does the maintenance department. Wes talked about the phone. They had a phone issue, and that was corrected, but he gave a warning that there's only so much they could do going forward because the system is old. Well, we've known that, and the chairman, myself, finance department, and Wes knows about that. There's some things in the works, so that he couldn't directly answer a lot because there's things that are sitting there. Part of what when I was discussing with you last year or late last year about upgrading the network, that's in preparation for moving to the next stage to address that. So there is a long-term thing that will be addressed. We're just not ready for that right now, and probably should focus on some of your other big projects in the place instead of starting another one right now. But there's something will be addressed. So the phone system will work fine. There are ways to make it work, but there's a next stage that you'll need to do, but that's just not a small project. But so he wasn't being evasive. I don't think any of you thought that. There's just, it's a much bigger solution that will be involved once that, to address that overall. So any other questions about anything? Okay.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have John Beavis with the Health Department.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I sent my report, so you should have that in your packet, so I'll just answer any questions. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, with the schools, we have Frank Petkunis with the quarterly report of the Iroquois-Kankakee Regional Superintendent of Schools.
Do I do a motion before?
Can I have a motion and a second to accept the report? Mr. Miller with the first, Fairfield with the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Thank you.
So I'd kind of like to go just like John did, but I just figured I'd hit a few high points. But good morning, everybody. We had our joint ed meeting March 16th, so I shared the report with that group. Basically, we're on track budget-wise for the year so far. Things are pretty quiet. We finished up all of our health, life, safety visits for all the schools. Things are looking good there. Our compliance visits with the schools are complete. We'll finish those reports up. That's June 1st is the date that those will get done. We've been working on cleaning up some open building permits. So if you look at the reports that we share with the Joint Ed Committee, there's a big list of open building permits. Those are, some of them are fairly old and they've just been kind of hanging out there because they just haven't been finalized. So we're cleaning that up so that list will start to shrink down and become more current. So that's a process we're working on. We're currently accepting more building permits. St. Anne High School has got the athletic field project going on. It's a pretty exciting project out there. They're bringing football back, so they're very excited for a new season out there. The turf field that they're going to have will be able to serve football, soccer, other activities as well. So kind of a neat deal going on out there. Grant Park's doing some science lab upgrades. Bradley Elementary's doing some HVAC work. A lot of schools are doing HVAC work, but those are some of the current building permits that we've got. And then schools are gearing up for state testing coming up here in the next couple months. April's a big time for state testing, so that's going to be going on. Other than that, that's what I've got. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Moving on, next we have the Veterans Assistant Commission, Karen Smitansky. It doesn't appear she's here today, so can I have a motion and a second to approve her report? Featherling first and Long second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay. It looks like we have Anita next with the monthly update. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna try not to disappoint anybody and be done in 30 seconds.
Quickest meeting ever.
So currently we have 16 total openings on our website for positions that are posted on the county's website. Again, I've mentioned this before. I'll remind everybody. There are many of those which is not directed by the administration group. 3 are state's attorney's office. They have their own HR department. They do their own hiring and posting. 2 are public health department. There's a CANCOM position. There's a land bank position. So of those, the ones we're directly involved in are about 9 of those. So that we're actually receiving applications, reviewing those, etc. What we are responsible for is ensuring that we get those applications and we're filing them so that we're compliant with EEO. So we've got that. It is interesting. There is really a correlation between, we have 16 openings now. We had 11 in February. So a big pop-up this time, couple key positions in administration that we're trying to fill pretty quickly. New hire orientation was held last Wednesday. We had only 9 attendees. That's a rather small group for us. But 4 of those were corrections officers and 3 were public health. So kind of our key departments there as well. And let's see, where else am I? Oh, collective bargaining agreement. We still remain one unreconciled or not complete, and that is highway. We continue in negotiations there with our next session scheduled for Thursday, April 13th. So we continue to plug along. Good progress, I think, made this last session.
I think so too.
Yeah, so lots of help from Mr. Eckhoff and Mr. Alexander Hildebrand in those sessions. So other than that, I've got a couple trainings coming up. One in April, IPMG is doing just FMLA and ADA training in Champaign for a day, which I always like to go listen to what their latest tips are. That one is taught by our legal representative at IPMG for any time we have a legal issue at the county, Julie Bruck. So I always like to hear what she has to say. And then ICRMT has a 2-day training session, 5/24 and 5/25. I'm looking at this point, it looks like based on the agenda, only those on 5/24 will really be applicable to me. 5/25 really relates to public relations. At this point, I'm planning on just driving down for the day that's held in Springfield. Drive down and turn around and drive back. So, but I think that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions. No? Great.
Thank you very much, Anita. Next, we have administrative. We have appointments and some reappointments. Is there a motion to combine and approve? Long first and Featherling second. The appointment of Christopher Clark to the Kankakee County Board of Examiners and Appeals, reappointment of Mike Rubel to the Kankakee River Conservancy District, reappointment of Douglas Gray to the Farmland Assessment Review Committee, and reappointment of Randy Langlois to the Kankakee Valley Airport Authority. And after that, oh, first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. And next we have openings. We have one opening on the McGilvery Special Drainage District, one opening on the Kankakee County Convention and Visitors Bureau, one opening on the Kankakee River Valley Forest Preserve District Board, one opening on the University of Illinois Extension, one opening on the Cabri Area Fire Protection District, one opening on the Essex Township Fire Protection District, one opening on the Grant Park Fire Protection District, one opening on the Greater Momence Fire Protection District, one opening on the Limestone Fire Protection District, one opening on the Mantino Community Fire Protection District, one opening on the Otto Township Fire Protection District, one opening on the St. Anne Fire Protection District, and we have 2 openings on the Bourbonnais Fire Protection District, 2 openings on the Kankakee County Board of Review, and 5 openings on the Kankakee County Ethics Commission. Perfect. And then under new business, we did have the 2022 ARPA report, but we're going to hold off on that for next month. So it was not ready, so we'll discuss it in a future meeting. Is there any old business? Chad Miller?
Mr. Chairman, at the March 22nd PZA committee meeting, there was a resolution put forth in support of our county's agriculture industry. That was approved and will be going along to the full county government board at the April meeting. I'd appreciate everybody's support for that. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you very much, Chad, for the information. No new old business? Okay, do we have a motion and a second for adjournment? Featherling and Roger Hess. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.